Here's my newfound buddy.
Her new BFF.
That's right.
Whatever they call it.
This is Dr. Steven Salk, and he's Jonas Salk's nephew. And we're going to interview him in a little while. And he's going to give me something to bring home, and you guys will be shocked.
And it is a pleasure to have met this very nice lady.
Thank you.
Going forward.
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Steven Salk, the nephew of Dr. Jonas Salk.
Good afternoon.
And Bonnie had sent some questions, and I'm just going to let him go ahead and answer her questions, because I don't know what they are.
No, one of Bonnie's questions was, I had polio as a child, 1953, but it was a minor form. Polio comes on a scale of 1 to 10, and if you get a 7 or an 8 or a 9, you can die, but a lot of people, as you already know, have had polio and are still functional, very functional. The other question was concern about the polio virus coming back, and there are a number of methods that we're using. When I say we, the Rotary Club, the UN, there's a lot of effort. Bill Gates just doubled the amount of money available to combat polio. It occurs now in about 5 countries in Africa and Pakistan in Asia. It's mainly now because of war issues, political issues, unrest. Vaccine can't be distributed properly worldwide. Here in our country, there will always be a case of polio here and there. But it will be, and obviously has been, greatly reduced, and it's all thanks to people like you, a lot of people.
Fighting for it, that's
Yeah.
for sure. And your uncle.
Well, yeah, the battle started over 100 years ago, and I'm grateful that we have come as far as we've come, but there's more work to do, obviously.
Unfortunately, what we find is most of the doctors don't know much about post-polio syndrome, and
No, that's very true. The truth of the matter is we've never had such a number of people with that condition before, and we're now, normally you didn't live through it, so post-polio didn't happen.
and those of us, of course, that had it, the post-polio syndrome, has affected a lot of us.
I know you thought you got off scot-free.
Even some of the ones that weren't sure that they had polio or not are experiencing the effects.
Well, that's it. Even if you had a 2 or a 1, 2, or a 3 in terms of severity, post-polio syndrome is a very real possibility.
Well, we would love to have you come to Michigan sometime and speak at one of our conferences.
Well, I want you all to know that I was born in Detroit. So
Really?
There. Yes, ma'am.
Really? Were you in the hospital when you had polio?
Yeah, for 2 days.
Do you remember which one? Probably Herman Kiefer, where most of them were.
You know, I was a young guy at the time, very young, so I never really, I should ask my mom, who's still alive.
Yeah. What's the one thing you remember about your uncle?
That he was very gentle, that he was dedicated, he didn't patent the thing, he didn't really get a penny for it. He had a salary and he was happy to be able to help out. That kind of an attitude isn't as common as it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a different time, but it was, I have good memories of that time, except for the iron lungs.
Right.
Seeing the kids in those iron lungs.
And you know, at Herman Kiefer, they have a room that is loaded with iron lungs. still to this day
Empty.
left over.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Thank God
think
they're
that the whole
empty.
wall, yep, I remember, filled the whole wall.
And just very quickly, you said you worked at the,
Yeah, I did. I worked at the Salk Institute 3 summers in my...
you know what, sorry. Okay.
I
Okay.
worked at the Salk Institute summers during my college years, some of them anyway. And we're going to have to cut it again.
Thank you so much, Steve, for your time. And I really enjoyed meeting you, and I do hope you come to Detroit sometime.
Well, I will.
We have a conference. Every 2 years, we have a big
Really?
conference with like 150 to
Well,
200 polio
We
people.
know how to get in touch then.
That's right.
Thank you. It's nice to be able to talk with people who've had similar experiences and who allow us to sort of see that it's not over yet, and we all have to do our part, or it wouldn't hurt if we did. Let's put it that way. But thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the gift, and I can't wait to take that home and show the friends. Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. One beautiful July day in 1966, I was asked to dispose of several large boxes of glass vials, flasks, and petri dishes, which had been used in my uncle's lab to do the research surrounding the development and preliminary testing of the Salk vaccine. It seemed to me that these relics were too beautiful to destroy and might someday serve as a reminder to future generations of a time in our history when service before self was a way of life. I requested and received permission to take possession of the boxes. I am grateful to be able to share one of these unique relics with someone who continues to work to complete the job Jonas Salk began almost 70 years ago. Warm regards, Steve.